in the great state of Texas.
Mr. Big Man, Mr. Big Time.
Ass in the great state of Texas.
Mr. Big Man, Mr. Big Time.
That I drew when I was younger, before I ever became a rapper, because I used to think I was going to be a basketball player. I was wrong about that, but you know. So I decided that I needed to make a logo, and I made this lizard, and I started putting out mixtapes and doing freestyles and rapping, and I always kept that lizard with me. I decided I wanted everybody to brand this thing into everything they were doing, and this was the result. Kids started putting, lizard on their heads, lizard on their legs. That's an unauthorized jersey. I would have never authorized that color. Personally, I don't like the color scheme, but you know, we started making a movement. We started taking this thing everywhere, and a lot of your kids put this lizard in all kind of crazy places, right? And I was just like, you know what? We've got to build an audience. I was focused on trying to build an audience, and a lot of it was through young kids. This is the name of my record company, CHAMILLION. Y'all get it? Chamillionaire, CHAMILLION, right? So we created an army of kids out here that were promoting and rallying around this music. And I realized in order to get to reach the next level, I needed to get a manager or somebody to help me. And I was looking for a manager at the time. I didn't know who I would get. And this guy called me up and he said, hey man, I'm one of the biggest indies. Will you work with me? And I was just like, okay, I'll come meet you. And you know what this guy's name was? Charles. Your name is Charles? Lucky letter C, okay. So I go to his office, I walk in, I sit in there, he's sitting down to tell me what he's about to do. And I said, well, hold up, what's your last name? You know what his last name was, right? Chavez. 2 C's? Interesting. So we talked about what we were gonna do, and we took over. We took over. Can you tell which one of those is Charles? The guy with the big Kool-Aid smile. That's what happens when you sell platinum. That's what happens when your artist sells a bunch of records, right? We took over. We started getting the cover of every magazine. I told him, if you give me a meeting with the owner of the Source, this guy, Jay Mills, I promise you I'm gonna get the cover. I walk in there, I convince everybody in the Source to give me the cover. I went back to Universal Records and they were upset because they had the cover planned for somebody else that was on Universal Records, and I took it. And you know what? I took everything else too. BET Awards? Oh yeah, I want that too. Give me that. And you know what? I want more awards. Matter of fact, I was sitting at the awards one day and 50 Cent was sitting in front of me. They said, the nominees are 50 Cent, Chamillionaire, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, 50 Cent turns around and tells me, you're about to win this. And they call me out and bam, VMA. What? Are you serious? But that isn't it. That isn't it. You know what happened after that? The mother of all awards, the biggest. You don't get bigger than this. Ooh, the Grammy. When you get a Grammy, your life changes. Trust me on this. Like, you go to these events, right? And I put on a suit. I don't really wear suits like that. And I'm looking at, I think they call it a gala, something like that, right? So I'm looking, and I'm at this event, and there's a lady over there looking at me. She's giving me, you know, the eye. And I'm like, is that the lady from Golden Girls? Is that Betty White? And she looks and she says, and I'm looking, you know, my first reaction is, who, me? Me? And she comes over, she gives me a hug and says, I love your music. And I'm like, what? You go home smelling like an assortment of perfumes and colognes. You know, you got Betty White's perfume right here. You got Oprah's perfume right here. You got Will Smith's cologne right here because he got to give you the bro hug, you know what I mean? Like, what's up, bro? And they tell you that you've made it. After that, you've made it. That's what they tell everybody, and this is what happens. A lot of y'all in here are looking at that like it's content. It's not content, it's content. That's what everybody gets, right? That's what everybody gets. But they don't see the reminder. So you know what? I knew there was more to go. And you know what after that? We went out and we started deciding that we were going to get involved with everything tech. I started going to tech conference after tech conference. I started advising for a company that got bought by Google. I went and met a guy named Mark Schuster. Hey, what's up, Mark? The homie. I invested in a company called Maker Studios, which ended up getting bought by Disney. I invested in another company called Cruise, which ended up getting bought by General Motors. And now I ended up getting all these celebrities and influencers and musicians and athletes to all come into this world with me and start investing, and we started creating power. And that leads me to how I feel about social media. because along the way, there were so many companies, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, everything, and we've been using all of them, and most people look at celebrities as a tweet. But we are the people that are so close to this product, engaging with these products, and I can tell you about my love-hate relationship with social media. There is a lot that I love, a whole lot that I love. I can tell you all kind of things that make me feel good when I wake up in the morning. Creativity, connectivity, community, conversation. Have y'all seen some of the creative stuff that happens on the internet? Like really, come on, man. Who does this stuff, man? Who is at home doing this right here, man? Just off the presidency alone? There is so much stuff that you can pull off of the internet. Wow, I love that. That makes me feel good about social media, right? I mean, there's a connectivity that happens where we're able to connect these mobile devices with people across the world. We're able to rally around communities and people that have like interests and like minds. That is awesome. But that brings me to what I hate. Now, there's a whole lot that I hate about social media. I mean, I could go on forever. Trolling, abuse, cyberbullying, fake likes, fake followers, fake bots. Have y'all seen what's happening with these fake bots? We're talking to people that aren't real, that are making very racial comments on